Martin Luther King Jr. Day to everyone. Okay? The wonderful soul that is and was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is being recognized today on this federal holiday. He was born on the 15th of January, but in the United States, we celebrate his birth on the third Monday of January so that friends and family can come together and practice the message that he spoke about, the rights for everyone to be free. That's how I'm opening up this one. All right, so freedom in a lot of ways. So, yes, freedom from oppression, freedom from being judged by what you look like. And I sadly, when he was assassinated, he was about to start a new movement of economic and financial wellness for others. He was in Tennessee at the time where he was about to speak to sanitary workers about fair wages. And that, I think, for whatever you want to say or whatever, he was working towards the rights of everyone. And I teach this in second grade, so this is a part of what we teach. Um, and I also want to just add in, we all deserve to be well and feel well in our bodies and in our lives. Okay. So right now I'm in my car vehicle trying to warm it up. It is literally, I'm looking at the dash, 19 degrees. Luckily I parked strategically so that my car would start. These winds have not been playing around. Okay, the wind has not been playing. And I tend to go to the King Center often as a field trip, where we will be going again this year, next month. But I've been to the King Center a lot of times. So I've seen his Nobel Peace Prize. I've seen the display also for Gandhi. I've even seen they have a section of the King Center that has other, like, they celebrate Rosa Parks and the civil rights movement. Okay. And I there's the grand pool and his tombstone. Like, I always try to remember, like, is he actually buried there? He and his wife Coretta. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but there is a tombstone, and most likely it's probably crowded today, even though it is bitterly cold here in Atlanta. Um, and there are people who believe in treating people fairly, believe in everybody getting what they want out of life, you know? So that's what I usually, try to instill in a lot of my students. And when I was growing up, there were a lot of people who would just say, oh, he was just for a certain kind of person. But no, he was working for everyone's liberation. Everyone's liberation. That's why he earned a Nobel Peace Prize. And he, he did a lot of service for people. And he sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed a great deal. Now, I will say, of his surviving children, Bernice, and I believe he has his brother. I think his brother is gone too recently. Um, so Bernice is still with us, and actually, no, yeah, one of his brothers. Sorry, I'm getting it all mixed up. So one of his brothers, yes, has passed on. His sister did pass away a couple of years ago. Um, uh, MLK the third is still alive, yes, because his granddaughter is very much Yolanda. She is becoming an up and coming activist, y'all. Watch out for my girl. She is out there doing things, okay? She's probably like 19, 20 at this point. And I guess the next revolution should be that economic revolution, y'all, because there are people who would love to keep you under their thumb okay? So that's the new thing. It's like, of course, there's sexism, racism, but you can't do too much if you got enough money to do for yourself, right? I think a lot of people don't realize that, and it's not about capitalism either. It's not about capitalism. It's about having freedom. And I'm glad I was watching something last night and somebody mentioned the word wage slavery, and that is a thing. Okay? A lot of people deal with that wage slavery, especially here in the United States, where they will, and I had to explain this to my parents, to where, yes, you have a job. Say if you're working for our hourly rate and you have to, pay your rent or your mortgage and your utilities and things like that. But if you're getting paid, I don't know, a certain amount an hour, you've got to be working a certain amount of hours, right? But what if your work cuts your hours? This happens often. And I know when I was doing it and going through all of that, I had to work 2 and 3 jobs, okay, just to pay my bills. That's wage slavery. That's what that is. Okay? So anytime I watch the news and the economy news and the jobs and all this stuff, and it just makes me laugh sometimes. It's like, oh, people need yeah, they need jobs because they can't afford to even work the one they got, you know? And then, oh, don't even get me started on having your health insurance attached to your job. So, yeah, the United States, they have much to learn. Okay, let me turn on the heat now so that see if I can warm this. Even though I'm just going a mile away, it's nice to just warm up my car and all this other stuff. So, yes, the Reverend Martin Luther King made a big sacrifice in his life. He was brilliant. He graduated from high school when he was 15 and went to Morehouse. And then after Morehouse, he went to seminary school. I don't remember which one. So yeah, he was a young ingenue. Like, no, I'm probably using that word incorrectly, but he was young. He understood what it meant to be free, because in Atlanta at the time, in the 1920s and 30s and 40s, like, well, he was born in 1929, so around about 30s, 40s, he had the benefit of living in an economic space, what we call Sweet Auburn, where the professionals, they lived in harmony with people who may not have had a lot of money. Like doctors, lawyers, all lived in that little space in Sweet Auburn in Atlanta. And so he knew what it was like to be comfortable, to live economically worry free. And there's a lot of people who unfortunately never got that opportunity. And when he started to realize a lot of it is also attached to the color of your skin here in the United States, you'd be surprised. Like, I don't know who is out there watching from around the world. Some people do tend to jump on my streams from other places, but some people who don't look like me, I'm gonna just say who are white, when they see me, and I'm gonna tell you, I do make pretty well right now. Like, I'm doing well for myself. I do work more than one job, but it's at my leisure. Um, I remember not even that long ago, like maybe a couple of months ago, I was traveling and I happened to just go drop into a store. I was dressed pretty much like this. This is a pea coat. It looks really nice. It's made of wool and things like that. So I think, I think I'm looking kind of sloppy, quite honestly, but I'm walking around looking like this and I see an old, elderly, Marlboro smoking white man pushing a buggy. He clearly is looking at me, trying to stare me down. And I'm kind of used to that anyway, because I'm awesome. People tend to can't help themselves. But I could tell he was looking at me in such a way, like how, like he could tell that, listen, I got money, honey. And this was after the election, by the way. So there are people out there who just assume that anybody who looks like me needs to be in poverty, needs to be under uh, like wage slavery, and it's just not the case. We're not, as my real president said, we're not going back, friends. We're not going back. It's like, I don't know, what kind of things that they're out there watching or consuming, and just assume that, yes, I'm going to be honest about the numbers. Black people are probably at 13-14% in this country, but we are a part of the global majority. And I need to keep saying that to people. People need to realize we're in this weird little, like, isolated bubble for years. And I'm probably going to go a little sideways now with what I'm saying, because of the the nature of what's going on right now with social media. There are people who um, try to use other apps from around the world and had no idea that other people in other countries, and that's the point I'm trying to make. It's like other people from other countries, they're doing well. They don't need the United States. Like the brainwashing that most Americans get about people from around the world is staggering, y'all. It's staggering. It's sad. And so when, they check out some other people's things and they're like, wait, these people, they got stuff, they got things. It's like, yeah. And further numbers here. So, yes, I'm saying black people are probably 13% of the population of the United States. So then when people from outside of the United States see media from the United States, they just assume that all of us are criminals. I already did the numbers in another video. Maybe I'll just break it down even further sometimes. But white people are only 11% of the world. Of the world. Okay, I want you to hear me clearly. You can Google this, you can chat GPT this all you want, but I want you to give it this prompt. What percentage of white people are there in the world? And it will give you that number. Okay? They are not the majority. And they know it. A lot of them do. And so they try to brainwash the others into thinking that they're the superior. No, no, you're not. No, you're not. It's a big facade. Okay? And the facade is, yeah, no. And I think this technology is really starting to do what it should be doing in the first place. It's connecting people from around the world, and we all need to start talking, okay? Like, for real. Like, we all need to start realizing what's going on and knowing who really is the culprit. It's not necessarily even about race. They try to throw that at you, yes, but it's about the resources, okay? It's about the resources, the money, and what they do to fool you into believing certain things. So I know I went on a little tangent here. So let me, now I think my car is kind of ready to rock and roll here. Let me put on my safety belt. So yeah, for example, I'm sitting here right now at my apartment. I'm about to drive to my house. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like more people need to realize, and I ain't, I'm not rich, y'all. I just know how to use my money wisely. And helping my brother. He has mental illness. He's actually having a good day this morning so far. So I'm trying to, hopefully keep that going. But yeah, there are people who are doing well, and I'm not on a yacht. I'm not walking around flashing dollars and whatnot, but I do well for myself. I could be actually doing better with my money, and I'm not trying to be extravagant. And that's one thing when it comes to what they call building wealth. It's like I don't necessarily think I'm a spender, but I could be. They make it really easy for you to spend up all your money, okay? So that you are having uh, wage slavery, right? The facts are, yes, we do need money to live in the world. Um, there are things that you don't have to spend money on. There's things you don't have to use in order to be happy, right? I think countries. I think there's a new word. People from other 5 people get all the power, all the resources, and everybody else gets the crumbs. Okay, Russia is one of those countries. It's been that way for 100 or so years. Okay, since the fall of well, even I would even say like back in Rasputin time, like when the last royal family was killed during the I forget the name of the war, but that was like that was a long time ago. And then what ushered in was like the Soviet, regime, which is still, I think, ongoing today. Say what you want to say, but it's where a few people with money that can pay their government to do whatever they want to do. Okay, that's why that certain Putin person has been the president for like 30 years. Okay, things like that. So there are bigger issues I think we need to all start talking about how history is being repeated, how things are being now suppressed. YouTube is still one of those kind of loosey goosey ones where you can within reason say what needs to be said, okay, and to get the message out. I would like to think I'm on Substack as well. I'm also on Fanbase, and that's a newer one. So everybody's trying to run to Blue Sky, which I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Blue Sky right now. Only because I don't know who is the owner, so you got to know who owns these things. They're the ones like, looking to suppress people. If you are old enough, and if you were paying attention enough about Arab Spring, that happened about 10 years ago, when North Africa started a revolution, and thus the reason why I think Sudan now is 2 countries instead of 1, where people were like, they were getting tired of being sick and tired, and they use social media to get their freedom. There are ways around this, y'all. Okay, I'm just saying, we all deserve to be well. We all deserve to have happiness. We all deserve to be free in our own way without harming others. Okay? And again, as we celebrate a 20th century hero, a world hero that just happened to be born in this city of Atlanta on January 15th, 1929. Okay? There's so much to be grateful for, and not to take it for granted. If you want your freedom, y'all, there's a price to pay, as in not a big one, but a responsible one. Okay? Use your voice, use it strategically. These oligarchs that are out here starting to oligarch, they've got a lot of people in a chokehold right now. And I'm going to be honest. These Americanized, and they are not all American, by the way, oligarchs, they got you thinking that you've got to be on a certain app. They got you thinking, oh no, I gotta do the dance. And it was so funny, as I was on social media last night looking around to see what people are saying. Even on apps that would actually liberate people, people are still asking to be not liberated. Meaning, I understand that there is a partners program, like a pot, a kitty, like a pot of money that an app will have if you generate engagement with people. To me, you're just asking, Lisa, can I tap dance for you, app? That's what that sounds like. Like, there are people who are really asking for that. I was like, you can make your own money. The internet is free, y'all. Like, these apps are not. The apps are making you stay on the apps. You don't have to stay on the apps. You know? That's the wake up call I think a lot of people need to see. You don't have to stay on these apps to do what you're doing. You know. And I think that's the thing. It's like people, just like time, hourly work. Okay, so that's another thing where I think more people are starting to realize, like, you don't have to be at a job for a certain amount of time to earn your keep. If you get your job done, then get your money. So the thing is, they want you preoccupied. Okay, they don't want you thinking. They want you preoccupied, sitting behind a desk or behind a counter, doing whatever, at the call center, whatever you're doing. That's what they want you doing. Okay, so just keep that in mind on this wonderful day. It's bitterly cold though. Really, really keep that in mind. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't have to work for those apps. They need you. They need y'all in masses, and they need y'all in masses literally doing those stupid dances. Okay, that's what they need you. But you all need to wake up. Be well. Okay.